A man stood upon a railroad bridge in northern Alabama, looking down into the swift water 20 feet below. The man's hands were behind his back, the wrists bound with a cord. A rope closely encircled his neck. It was attached to a stout cross timber above his head, and the slack fell to the level of his knees. Some loose boards laid upon the ties supporting the rails of the railway supplied a footing for him and his executioners, 2 private soldiers of the Federal Army, directed by a sergeant. At a short remove upon the same temporary platform was an officer in the uniform of his rank, armed. He was a captain. A sentinel at each end of the bridge stood with his rifle in the position known as support. The man who was engaged in being hanged was apparently about 35 years of age. He was a civilian, if one might judge from his habit, which was that of a planter. His features were good, a straight nose, firm mouth, broad forehead. The preparations being complete, the 2 private soldiers stepped aside and each drew away the plank upon which he had been standing. His face had not been covered, nor his eyes bandaged. He looked a moment at his unsteadfast footing, then let his gaze wander to the swirling water of the stream racing madly beneath his feet. He closed his eyes in order to fix his last thoughts upon his wife and children. Striking through the thought of his dear ones was a sound which he could neither ignore nor understand, a sharp, distinct metallic percussion like the stroke of a blacksmith's hammer on the anvil. Its recurrence was regular, but as slow as the tolling of a death knell. He awaited each new stroke with impatience. The intervals of silence grew progressively longer. The delays became maddening. What he heard was the ticking of his watch.
He unclosed his eyes and saw again the water below him. If I could free my hands, he thought, I might throw off the noose and spring into the stream and get away home. My home, thank God, is as yet outside their lines. My wife and little ones are still beyond the invaders' farthest advance. As these thoughts were flashed into the doomed man's brain, the captain nodded to the sergeant. The sergeant stepped aside. Peyton Farquhar was a well-to-do planter of an old and highly respected Alabama family. Being a slave owner, and like other slave owners, a politician, he was naturally an original secessionist and ardently devoted to the Southern cause. Circumstances of an imperious nature, which it is unnecessary to relate here, had prevented him from taking service with that gallant army, and he chafed under the inglorious restraint, longing for the larger life of the soldier, the opportunity for distinction. Meanwhile, he did what he could. No service was too humble for him to perform in the aid of the South, no adventure too perilous for him to undertake, if consistent with the character of a civilian who was at heart a soldier. One evening, while Farquhar and his wife were sitting on a rustic bench near the entrance to his grounds, a gray-clad soldier rode up to the gate and asked for a drink of water. While she was fetching the water, her husband approached the dusty horseman and inquired eagerly for news from the front. The Yanks are repairing the railroads and are getting ready for another advance. They have reached the Owl Creek Bridge, put it in order, and built a stockade on the north bank. The commandant has issued an order declaring that any civilian caught interfering with the railroad, its bridges, tunnels, or trains will be summarily hanged. I saw the order. How far is it to the Owl Creek Bridge? Farquhar asked. About 30 miles. Is there no force on this side of the creek? Only a picket post half a mile out on the railroad and a single sentinel at this end of the bridge. Suppose a man, a civilian and student of hanging, should elude the picket post and perhaps get the better of the sentinel, Farquhar smiled. What could he accomplish? The soldier reflected. I was there a month ago. I observed that the flood of last winter had lodged a great quantity of driftwood against the wooden pier at this end of the bridge. It is now dry and would burn like tinder.
The lady had now brought the water, which the soldier drank. He thanked her ceremoniously, bowed to her husband, and rode away. An hour later, after nightfall, he repassed the plantation, going northward in the direction from which he had come. He was a Federal scout.
As Peyton Farquhar fell straight downward through the bridge, he lost consciousness and was as one already dead. From this state he was awakened, ages later it seemed to him, by the pain of a sharp pressure upon his throat, followed by a sense of suffocation. Keen, poignant agonies seemed to shoot from his neck downward through every fiber of his body and limbs. He was conscious of motion. Then, all at once, with terrible suddenness, the light about him shot upward with the noise of a loud splash. A frightful roaring was in his ears, and all was cold and dark. The power of thought was restored. He knew that the rope had broken, and he had fallen into the stream. To die of hanging at the bottom of a river? The idea seemed to him ludicrous. He was not conscious of an effort, but a sharp pain in his wrist apprised him that he was trying to free his hands. What splendid effort! What magnificent, what superhuman strength! Ah, that was a fine endeavor! Bravo! The cord fell away, his arms parted and floated upward. They tore the noose away and thrust it fiercely aside. But the undoing of the noose had been succeeded by the direst pang that he had yet experienced. His neck ached horribly, his brain was on fire, but his disobedient hands gave no heed to the command. They beat the water vigorously, forcing him to the surface. He felt his head emerge, his eyes were blinded by the sunlight, his chest expanded convulsively, and with a supreme and crowning agony, his lungs engulfed a great draught of air, which instantly he expelled in a shriek. He was now in full possession of his physical senses. They were indeed preternaturally keen and alert. He felt the ripples upon his face and heard their separate sounds as they struck. He looked at the forest on the bank of the stream, saw the individual trees, the leaves and the veining of each leaf. He saw the very insects upon them. He saw the bridge, the fort, the soldiers upon the bridge, his executioners. They were in silhouette against the blue sky. They shouted and gesticulated, pointing at him. Suddenly he heard a sharp report, and something struck the water smartly within a few inches of his head. He heard a second report, and saw one of the sentinels with his rifle at his shoulder. Farquhar dived as deeply as he could. He heard the dull thunder of the volley, and rising again toward the surface, met shining bits of metal. An appalling splash within 2 yards of him was followed by a loud rushing sound. The cannon had taken a hand in the game. Suddenly he felt himself whirled round and round, spinning like a top. In few moments he was flung upon the gravel at the foot of the left bank of the stream. The sudden arrest of his motion, the abrasion of one of his hands on the gravel, restored him, and he wept with delight. He sprang to his feet, rushed up the sloping bank, and plunged into the forest. All that day he traveled. The forest seemed interminable. Nowhere did he discover a break in it. By nightfall he was fatigued, footsore, famished. At last he found a road which led him in what he knew to be the right direction. It was as wide and straight as a city street, yet it seemed untraveled. The black bodies of the trees formed a straight wall on both sides. His neck was in pain, and lifting his hand to it, found it horribly swollen. His tongue was swollen with thirst. Doubtless, despite his suffering, he had fallen asleep while walking, for now he sees another scene. Perhaps he has merely recovered from a delirium. He stands at the gate of his own home. All is as he left it, and all bright and beautiful in the morning sunshine. As he pushes open the gate and passes up the wide white walk, he sees a flutter of female garments. His wife steps down from the veranda to meet him. Ah, how beautiful she is! He springs forwards with extended arms. As he is about to clasp her, he feels a stunning blow upon the back of the neck. A blinding white light blazes all about him with a sound like the shock of a cannon. Then all is darkness and silence. Peyton Farquhar was dead. His body, with a broken neck,
swung gently from side to side beneath the timbers of the Owl Creek Bridge.